combine, and we've got a special surprise here. We've got the head coach of the defending midget championship program, Nepean Eagles, Carlos Blizzard. How you doing?
I'm good, Jesse. How you doing?
Good, good. So we want a little update. The people are watching on Facebook Live right now.
All right.
They're seeing the athletes compete. You guys brought a few players from your squad, and I know you guys have been out already, but maybe just give us an update on where the Nepean Eagles are with the midget program right now.
Sure. Honestly, we've had the benefit of some good numbers, right? We've got some momentum. Got a great coaching staff put together, right? I got Mike Alexander. I got Dwayne Knight, ex-CFL player. That was the first thing I did when I took over as head coach. So that said, numbers are good. We're just looking to be able to be competitive, right? Like I told my players, we've got some young players. We've got some players that haven't played football before, right? But we got a nice mix of veterans too. And we're just looking to compete, right? The Montreal merger is a big deal. And our first game is August 12th against a Montreal team, probably one of the stronger ones. So we're looking to hit the ground running and like I said, be competitive, especially against those guys. And, we got a target on our back coming out of last year, but it's a new team. It's a brand new team. It's got nothing to do with last year's team. I just let our guys know that people are coming for us, right? But we're going to be good.
For sure, and I mean that's kind of what you get at the community football level. Is some guys are coming out for the first time. Sometimes they've only got a couple years under their belt. Sometimes you're blessed with these NCAFA lifers that kind of move up. You were last year with a few guys. Well, obviously your son Dante and his good friend Noah Gauthier.
Noah's back.
So Noah's back. That's news to me now.
Noah's
That's big. Obviously that's going to be a veteran presence and an all-star kind of most outstanding player type of guy that you've got on your offense.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, like the coaching staff you have. Another big thing that I didn't know, but I think is awesome is that the Bantam defensive coordinator's moved up, and Dwayne Knight. He's a guy I've said this in podcasts before. He's a guy I would have loved to play for. He doesn't take it easy on you,
Exactly.
but I mean his approach is if you're a thick-skinned kid that wants to get better, Coach Knight's your guy.
I tell you what, when I was asked to take on the head coach, my first thing was to say, if I can put together a good staff, right? And one of the first guys I reached out to was Dwayne Knight, right? Because again, guys like him don't fall out of trees, right? Football guys, there's a lot of guys that played the game and whatnot, but finding good quality coaches, right? And yeah, I'm really pleased with him. Looking forward to having a good year with him. And even my DB coach Tim Tate, he's out here tonight. Like I said, Mike Alexander, he and I have been coaching for the last 5-6 years together through Raiders and now Eagles.
Well, let's talk about that for a sec. Sure. I'll stop you right there because, those that are close to the league know about your guys' track record. And I know about it personally firsthand. I suffered a defeat in the A Cup to the Raiders when I was coaching with Bell. But you guys seem to be on this ride, and partly because you've got these kids that you've coached for a long time, but also you guys seem to have this chemistry. And as we know, sometimes when you don't have the right guys and there's some conflict on who's in charge of what, or that can allow the thing to fall apart. But you guys seem to have a familiarity with yourselves, and adding a few more pieces, I don't see why this team's not going to be good again.
That's very true. But again, this is important to me, okay, is the championships and the winning, that's all great. Right? I mean, we all coach and we all play to win the game, right? But that's not why we coach, right? It's not why we coach. It's not why I coach. It's about these young athletes and, giving them that football experience. And if they want to get to the next level, great, right? We can try and get them there. The winning is great. But even that, I don't make assumptions. I don't presume anything, right? We're a brand new team this year. And, we're just trying to do right by these kids, to be honest with you. We're just trying to do right by them. Give them some good coaching, give them some good life lessons, and if we win, we win. If we don't win, I mean that's football, right?
Well, I think football. I know we both feel this coming from the game, but I mean I think that it does prepare you for life in so many ways. The
Definitely.
team sport and having to come together as a group of guys, and I know the league works hard to make sure that they look good. They've got good uniforms. They've got game film and all the things that they want. That if they choose to pursue football at the higher level, in the university collegiate level, they're going to have the tools that they need, and they're going to have coaches like you giving them a reference letter too.
And that's the thing about the midget league, okay? seriously, in the last 2 years that I've been involved, right, coming through from tight to bantam in the Raider organization, but the midget league now is so competitive, right? We got good athletes. We've got, university scouts. We had the benefit of Dwayne Knight's younger brother at our practice last night, who happens to be a scout for the New Orleans Saints. And have him come and give our guys a little talk and, even talk. And you know what I loved what he said? He said he just came from a camp in the States. And when he looked at our guys and looked at their guys, he said he could take a picture of those two teams, because we had a bunch of guys out that had about 20 guys. And he said he could put those side to side and not tell who was the American team and who was the Canadian team. So it just gives our guys that incentive, to say, you know what, yeah, we are as good as anybody, right? I stack up our athletes against Montreal, Toronto, the States, right? I stack them up against everybody.
I think that's a good point, and I've had this conversation, obviously, like with a lot of different people and on the podcast, and I'm a passionate guy about trying to build the league that we have and be a community guy, right? And there are a lot of options to go outside the system, do your own thing. But what you end up doing is, I think you just divide the people. You divide the volunteers, you divide the players, and everything becomes weaker.
Right.
Now, the one thing about community football, and to have you say the New Orleans Saint kind of looked and said, listen, there's not much difference. Like, people are people. It's not like they're all 8'6".
Exactly. That was his point, and it was a great point, right? He said, I'm looking at you guys. We had a good practice. We had some good numbers. And he said, guys your age, south of the border, look just like you.
And the thing with the league now, like, I do think there were some things that need to be done. Now they're well on their way. Got a new website.
Yep.
We've got every game at this level filmed with huddle accounts. Absolutely. And the tools are there for the coaches. So now the coaches are coming in because they've got the tools. Exactly. We've got the interlocked. Yep. So now the competition level is going to go up, and it's going to be a little bit harder to compete against those Montreal teams, but it's going to force us to get better.
That's right.
What we've got also is a league here that I think people need to understand, that everything is here for you to do what you want to do later with football. And it's on average $300, $350.
Precisely.
We are not locking out players.
Right.
We are not. We are making football available and growing the game that we love. So I think this league's going to be really interesting at this level. The age change, of course, that I mentioned, like that was a big piece last year to, get rid of the 19s, not in a bad way, but I think the 16, 17, and 18-year-olds just jive a little bit better as an age group. So all these things happening, and now we've got a good season to look forward to.
And you know what? I'm going to give you some props, Jesse. The work that you guys are doing with HESN, right? Coming out, filming the games, this combine, all this stuff. I mean, without the work that you're doing and the work that you've done, and I've seen the HESN network, over the last few years just turn into something that's like, okay, it's slick, it's professional, right? So my personal thanks to you and your crew for doing what you do.
Thanks, Carlos. I mean, none of this would be possible without the leadership of our president that helps with making all this stuff happen, Steve Dean, and obviously the executive that and the board of governors. I mean, we've got a lot of great people that come from this league, that care about this league, and I look at this as really the flagship program. The support of OSEG obviously can't be understated. Right. We're really partnered with the Red Blacks when they came back. And the 50-50 obviously is helping with being able to do some of this stuff. We've talked to the QMFL guys; they don't get the kind of support from the Alouettes, not even not in the same ballpark. So we have to thank the Ottawa Red Blacks. Football is a big sport in this city, and I think we're on the up and up. This is going to be fun to watch you guys in your home opener against the powerhouse Mustangs.
I'm just looking for us to be in a position, like I said, to compete. Right, we've hit the ground running. We've got some good work done. We got a lot of work to do, but that's the goal. Right, I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win or lose. I don't know, but I know we got a bullseye on our back, and I know everybody's coming for us, and our players know it too. So should be a good year.
Maybe talk a little bit about. I explained earlier on the stream the how the format's going to work, but a team like the Gatineau Vikings that have always wanted a midget team, they've always wanted a bantam team. They've kind of come and gone with that bantam program just because of the the geography and the amount of high school football that's out there, they haven't done it.
Competing with the high schools.
But now they're competing in the QMFL.
Right.
And they're competing with an extension to the Big Ten Conference.
Right.
So theoretically, the Raftsmen of Orleans and the Gatineau Vikings, if they win out, they could join the Big Ten as the low seed.
It's like, yeah, exactly. You know, I guess the analogy could be soccer, right? In terms of, and if, for example, one of the teams that's in the top 10 this year doesn't do very well, could end up being relegated, right? That's the way I see it, and that's fair, right? It gives the Raftsmen and Vikings a chance to build their program, compete at a competitive level, right? Get better, get stronger, move up. I mean, I see that happening. This whole merger, you know, for the next 5-10 years, it's just going to get better and better, right? And yeah, I look forward to seeing the Raftsmen get things going, and Gatineau as well, represent Ottawa, right? Go down to Montreal or have them come here, and let's compete and play some football.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the analogy is there's just one really good high school party happening that night, and everyone's kind of a part of it. Whereas we've got you know, Gatineau and Orleans are all part of the same thing now, and we're all competing in the same thing. There's little changes about things, but it's a league that we can all get behind. You know, I want to thank Carlos Blizzard for joining me on the live stream and updating us on the Nepean Eagles, that part of the town. What's going to be an exciting 2018 merger QMFL season. And we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with the one-on-ones in the Combine.